Probably many of you are wondering when you can expect to see Arlecchino rerun, or what happened to the previously speculated 5.2 banners. In this video, I'll discuss the rerun of some of the most anticipated characters and clarify the banners for version 5.2. Save up to 20% on Xilonin and Chiori banners on lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description. Let's start by clearing up the banners for version 5.2. According to the latest info from homdgcat, we now know that the first phase will feature Chasca and Lyney, while the second phase will include Neuvillette and Zhongli. Originally, there were rumors about a Dragonspine event and a Wanderer rerun, but now that beta testing has begun, it's clear that the main event will actually take place in Natlan, not Dragonspine. So, no Wanderer or Venti rerun in this patch, and no Dragonspine event for now. Let's also address where the earlier info about a Dragonspine event and Wanderer rerun in 5.2 came from. The source of this information was a person named Fowl, who initially claimed that 5.2 would feature a main Dragonspine event alongside a Wanderer rerun. However, once beta testing began and it was confirmed that the main event would occur in Natlan, these rumors were debunked. Shortly after the Natlan event was confirmed, Fowl deleted his channel. It's likely that the pressure of his inaccurate info led to him shutting it down, which was unfortunate for those who followed his info. Before the 5.2 banners were confirmed, there was speculation from Flying Flame that Chasca would be paired with Klee in the first phase and Venti with Albedo in the second. However, this was just speculation based on the main event in Dragonspine, so even trusted sources sometimes make predictions, and not all of them come true. Now let's talk about Arlecchino. She was first released in version 4.6, and so far she hasn't had a rerun. It's been 4 patches since her release, so the chances of her getting a rerun in 5.3 are looking more likely, especially with the release of Mavuika in the same patch. There's a reason why they might pair Arlecchino with Mavuika. It's the same strategy they're using with Neuvillette in the second phase of 5.2. By placing a highly anticipated character like Arlecchino alongside Mavuika, they ensure that players will have tough choices to make and may run out of Primogems before the next banner arrives. Imagine if Mavuika was in the first phase and Arlecchino in the second. The banners would be so stacked that it would be hard to save enough for both. This is why pairing them in the same patch but in different phases makes sense. Moving on to WRIOTHESLEY, the cryo character who was first released in version 4.1 and hasn't had a rerun since. It's been difficult to predict his return because, historically, characters released in the first half of a region's update cycle usually get at least one rerun within that region. But here we are in version 5.1, and still no sign of WRIOTHESLEY. That said, he's likely to get a rerun in the first half of the Natlan updates. If not, then I don't even know what to say here. Next up is Shenhe, one of the most overlooked cryo characters in the game. It's been 14 patches since her last rerun, and for context, one patch lasts 42 days, which means it's been almost 2 years since she appeared on a banner. Some of you might be wondering if she could show up in the Liu Chronicled Wish in version 5.3, but unfortunately that's unlikely. Characters need to have appeared in at least 3 banners to qualify for the Chronicled Wish, and Shenhe has only had 2 banners so far. So I believe she might appear in 5.3 with her own banner. 5.3 will have the next lantern right, so it will make sense to put her banner. Let's talk about Ganyu. She's one of the characters most likely to appear in the 5.3 Chronicled Wish. Considering her popularity and the fact that we haven't seen her for a while, this would be the perfect opportunity for a rerun. Something unusual we've noticed is that characters with the longest time between reruns tend to be cryo characters. WRIOTHESLEY, Shenhe, and even Ganyu have had unusually long gaps since their last appearances. So why do cryo characters seem to get overlooked by the developers? It's hard to say for sure, but one possibility is that cryo doesn't often receive big buffs or synergy changes in the meta compared to other elements, making them less of a focus in new updates. That was some speculation and clarification on the next banners. Which character are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to save up to 20% on Genesis crystals, visit lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description.